Thank you for being here today. Let me establish from the outset that we all want stronger border security. The question is, what is the most efficacious way of getting us there, and not creating a solution that fills a political promise, but doesn't really achieve strong border security. So I want to just follow up on an issue brought up by the chairman earlier regarding border crossings. And look, I've long held that and have an interest in ensuring that we're making a policy based on sound data and credible threats. So it is my understanding, and you've testified some of this morning, that your department keeps accurate statistics of the number of apprehensions at the border. Is that correct?
Apologies, yes.
And these statistics are compiled annually by U.S. Customs and Border Protection and published publicly on its website. That's correct?
Yes, we actually compile them monthly and publish them, but yes.
And according to this report, so the number of apprehensions at the border in 2000 was 1.6 million. Does that sound right?
It was over 1 million, yes, sir.
Okay. And these statistics show that in 2018, the number of apprehensions had fallen to just under 400,000. That's a drop of 75%. Is that right?
Yes, sounds about right.
Okay. So I have a chart that I'd like to display that shows the change in apprehensions. So now I want to ask you about what the president had said about border apprehensions. While touring the South Texas border on January 10th, the president stated of the Border Patrol, there were never so many apprehensions ever in our history. So, Secretary Nielson, what the president said was not accurate, was it?
I apologize, I don't know the full context of that. What I can tell you is we have encountered more family units per month than ever in history.
I just want to know, what the president said, is it accurate or not?
I just don't know the context of his statement, sir. If he was talking about family units in a particular sector,
no, I'm talking about the number. We went from 1.6 million in 2000 apprehensions and 400,000 in 2018. The president said that there were never so many apprehensions at the border in our history up until now. Is that accurate? Was the president accurate?
Again, it depends on the context because it depends on the type of migrant, sir.
Okay, it's either the 400,000 figure is either accurate or it's not. If it's accurate, then the president was not accurate. Is that correct?
Again, we've had monumental high numbers in some areas of the border.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just trying to get a yes or no.
Sir, I just don't know the context of his statement.
Okay.
So I'm trying to give you my most accurate testimony. What I can tell you is that in some places we have had record months of families. In some areas we have had record numbers of apprehensions.
Okay. Well,
as a gentleman, yeah, I think he's asking for the total number, not a selected category.
The total number, we are on track for this year for 900,000 apprehensions at the border.
But that wasn't the question.
Okay.
Is the president misleading the American people? Is he accurate in what he's saying? It's the largest amount of detentions, or is it not, apprehensions at the border?
In some categories, we have had record-breaking apprehensions.
Okay. Well, the president's claim, in the way I read it, is misled the American people. It gave the public fundamentally flawed factual information on a key border question. Did you take any steps to correct the information when the president stated what he did?
We provide information that we gather from CBP and all of our components for that matter. We provide them as a matter of course to the White House, and we try to put those numbers in context.
Well, Madam Secretary, the reason I ask these questions is they really go directly to the heart of the rationale for the president's emergency declaration. The president has been telling the public that there's an emergency at the border because crossings and apprehensions are at record high levels. But as you really have conceded yourself in the testimony, the facts are exactly the opposite when you're looking at the actual number. Apprehensions today are substantially smaller than they were 20 years ago. So my time is expired, but it is inaccurate. It's deceitful, I believe, to be inflating numbers or making statements that are not accurate. The president just wrong.